I actually feel really strongly that feminism, that I only really came into a year ago, just over a year ago, I now have turned to where it frightens me. I don't like feminism. It scares me. I feel completely unsupported. I hear in other spaces some awful things between women. Just yesterday, I won't say who or what or anything, just as soon as someone had left the room, then she was laughed at and bitched at, especially because of her accent. Oh, she thinks she's better than us. I see things going on with feminism that I'm shaking now as I'm speaking because it.
It's okay. You're in a good.
Oh no! Thank you ever so much. I just mean because I'm aware it's a very, very delicate side of what I'm discussing. Isn't the trans and everything else? I'm discussing how I've very sadly feel very let down by women.
Well, the thing is, can I just say one thing real quick? The majority of this is because you've introduced intersectionality to most of these parts, and all intersectionality's goal is to divide people. So if you feel like, oh, I don't have anyone to go to, it's done on purpose. They want you to feel excluded. They want you to not be able to talk to anybody. They want you to feel isolated, right?
I'm curious, G. What, like, if you're comfortable, like, you don't have to say any specific names. Like, what feminist spaces were you in that you experienced this? Because I don't normally see radical feminists and like gender critical feminist spaces, invoking the concept of intersectionality. In fact, that's kind of like what we're in part railing against, because intersectionality includes the idea of trans-identified males as a subtype of woman, and we are very...
Right side, if I may, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but this does happen in radical feminist spaces. You and I just came from a radical feminist space where you were basically told to piss off because you called Matt Walsh a misogynist.
Oh, yeah, so I'm not saying...
to you what I think G is talking about. And I don't know, I just...
Yeah, I'm not saying that this look what happened with Posey Parker. This definitely happens in those spaces, in radical feminist spaces. But I'm just kind of curious about, like, where... Because she invoked intersectionality, so she kind of sounds like a lib fem, so I was just curious.
Me? No, I'm actually centre-right, and that's another point. I find I'm targeted because of my accent, and even though I'm certainly not posh, not in the slightest, never have been, I'm targeted because I'm centre-right. I'm not liberal. I'm not Labour. I'm targeted because of that. And I'm targeted because I'm a woman who's shared my past. And I've heard other women, it's not just me, I've heard other women turn on each other. Just yesterday, the space I was in where I heard a woman, as soon as she left, they were splitting their sides, taking the absolute piss because of the way she spoke, calling her a posh bitch.
And that was a feminist space?
Yep.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Can you remember what the name of the space was?
No, but it goes on every day. The argument and the cause that we're all having, which is this, we're trying to stop men infiltrating women and children's spaces. And yet if you have a story, an experience, first-hand experience, and you tell it, then you're a trauma dumper. I don't care who's in the space right now, who's heard me say this before, I'm going to say it again because it happens too often, and it's not just to me. In the last few days, I keep hearing it. People are being laughed at, mocked at, joked about, and nothing to do with the cause. In fact, it was refreshing for the 10 minutes that I was in here before I spoke to actually hear some proper feminism, and the cause being spoken about was refreshing. And that's what made me think, do you know what, I need to bring this up because this is so major for me, because it's put me off feminism. And I'm not the only one. Thank you.
No wonder women don't want to call them. So, it wasn't until my 30s that I went, you know what? You're not a feminist? Okay. Do you center the good and the rights of women and kids in your politics to the best of your ability? Are you not an unrepentant asshole to women and kids? Okay, great. Then you're on my side, and I don't care what you call yourself. Like, I think that's where we need to get to, right? Like, I understand Americans being. I understand the argument against. Okay, so Kelly J. Keene, when she came here to America, she partnered with the Heritage Foundation, and I'm an American, and I'm an old American, and I'm an old lefty American, and that's not wrong with me, because my work as a woman, as a feminist in my life, has been for women's bodily autonomy, right? Women, you consider yourself a feminist? That's great. I need to see that your politics actually align with women and children, not call yourself a feminist and then say that men who wear dresses should change 9-year-old girls in a locker room. Okay, that's not feminism. That's bullshit. So any woman who says feminism leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but I am really here for women and kids, good on you. Yes, absolutely. Part of the team. Join arms. Label thing.
I think Maggie was next. Sorry.
Oh wait, because I wanted to finish the point. Okay, no. I just want to say this one little thing. Like, I feel like as a woman of color, I also very feel your sentiment, because a lot of things in Western feminism I don't align with. Just culturally, it doesn't make sense for me. But yeah, Maggie and G.
I think I didn't realize how other people saw it, and I don't want to be separated from those women. So if I'm prepared to drop it. It's fine for me to drop it. In terms of the people being horrible and mean, I agree. Like, this space thing, it's the best of times and it's the worst of times, really. If I see a man hosting, especially a few of them, I don't go in anymore. Like, it's like I've, done my reviews of spaces now, and I've got my hit list of people who I want to go in to listen to. I suppose it's a discernment. The power of these spaces are just utterly amazing. I just cannot believe them. A lot of you are my peeps now. As soon as someone's really untoward and weird, they're blocked. Like, I don't even give them a second chance. And people say, oh, you don't want an echo chamber. Well, actually, I do. To me, you just find your peeps.
Here, speak to us.
Thank you. Can I just say, right side, I'm really enjoying this space too. And Maggie and Ria, that was really, really fascinating. My issue is, I think unless you get your own house in order, how the hell can we possibly take on the issue of trans ideology and protect kids and da da da? When I say our own house in order, the infighting with feminism is so revolting. My shame of being, or my now dropping my recently adopted use of the word feminism, comes from hearing I shouldn't be on here because I haven't got the mental health for it. What? What do you mean I haven't got the mental health for it? Because you're sensitive, because you've got mental health issues. I have mental health issues because of trauma, because of men. So if women want to target me because I've got mental health issues, or say I shouldn't be on Twitter Spaces because I'm not strong enough to be on Twitter Spaces, then come at me. Because someone mentioned suffragettes just now. I'm shaking my head because I was literally shaking my head thinking, honestly, I cannot capture quite what I feel about feminism at the moment. Its own house is so.
I have to say one thing to that.
Yeah, please.
Like, I agree with you, but this is the thing that I like. It's like the whole thing of, like, if feminism is moving as one, how should we move for a goal? Doesn't it suck that we as women have to be agreeable on everything just to have one thing that most women agree? Same single sex spaces, at least for children, single sex spaces for children.
But Becky, so you have a critique of what we're saying. It looks like I added to the nest. I'm not trying to dogpile you or anything, but if you want to add commentary on why specifically you disagree with what we're saying, feel free to do so. I mean, I'm not saying like we're not gonna dogpile you or attack you for that, but we just want, like, this is a free speech zone. We're open to different opinions. So if you just would like to come up and comment on that take there, feel
We're
free to
open
do so.
to different opinions, but just shitting on women just because they might have an opinion or two that you disagree with. I don't know, right side like that. That's why I messaged you. You were being dogpiled. And that fucking pissed me off. And hearing G's story pisses me off. And hearing Maggie's story pisses me off. Like, we can disagree on pretty big things. Like, I have worked with women who are staunchly against abortion. And it's not like I'm pro-abortion, but it needs to be an option, right? And I've worked with them for different things. And this mean girls bullshit that women pull on each other. Like, anybody can come in here.
I mean,
If you're gonna slag off women, get the fuck out. Men speaking, no.
If you're disagreeing with this line of thought or whatever's going on in the space, like, feel free to speak.
Yes. But being a dick about women, get the fuck out. Sorry.
Hi. Hello. I'm Gamma, and I am a new wave radical feminist. As a new wave radical feminist, this is what I align with. I'm not anti-women. I'm not anti-men. Like, I'm tired of... I'm so distraught that feminism was just taken to such an extreme. And I call myself radical because you have to be radical to stand against a mass cult ideology that has become the social norm. This is propaganda. This is exactly what fascists do. And I'm actually rereading 1984 right now because it's so relevant to what goes on today. And they talk about newspeak and they talk about doublethink, where they take the truth of a word and they give it a different meaning, and where the meaning that is true is not real until you believe the unrealistic truth of the word, right? And it's like, we're living in an Orwellian society full of fascists who want to eradicate normalcy from society.